Life is not full of fantasy. It's full of loss. Self-harm. Anxiety.
There was a time in my life when winning felt like a proof that I mattered. Not because anyone sat me down and told me, you have to be the best. Actually, that was never the problem. The pressure was quieter than that. It came from wanting to make the people I loved feel proud, feel happy. And somewhere along the way, the child inside of me made a conclusion that if I win, I am enough. And if I fail, I am a disappointment. But that was just the beginning. I became what people know as a trophy kid. And for a long time, I thought that was a good thing. And at first, it looked really, really admirable. I was trying hard, I was disciplined, I was doing well. I had dreams. I had potential. And I want to be very clear about something, that there is nothing wrong with ambitions, there is nothing wrong with achievements, and there is nothing wrong with fighting for excellence. Trophies are beautiful. Discipline is meaningful. And hard work is a must. And I still believe in all that. But the real question is, what if your achievements turns into something that you no longer chase for, but your identity? And that is when all the signals begin. For me, they didn't come as a breakdown. No, they come as small things that we tend to not realize in our daily life, such as feeling tired all the time, but calling itself that I need more discipline, feeling overwhelmed, but say, I'll rest later, feeling empty on the inside, but keep smiling on the outside. My body was sending signals. My mind was sending signals. And my heart was sending signals. Especially with my strong personality of being a very, very, very committed person, of trying to be the perfect kid, the trophy kid, the one they always talk about. And for a long time, I thought the problem was that I was not disciplined enough. I need to be more disciplined, more endurance, more effort, more and more and more. We live in a world full of signals. Every day, our phones send us notifications that our battery is low. Our apps send us reminders. Our devices send us warnings if something is wrong. And we all listen to each and every one of them. But when our body says, I'm tired, we call it weakness. I remember one specific moment in my life. I had just come home from a competition. So I was still in my outfit, still had everything from that very same day, and yet I have another exam tomorrow. So what do? I come to my room, sitting at the corner, surrounded by notes, trying to study for tomorrow's exam, but nothing was coming in my mind. My head hurts, my body hurts, everything felt heavy. And suddenly, I just started crying. Not because something big was happening. No. It's because I was very, very, very tired. And yet, I told myself that I need to try harder. So I pushed myself through it, wiped my tears, and pretended that nothing is going on. And I called that strength. When our minds say, I'm overwhelmed, we call it drama. there was this part of my life that felt really, really happy. Soft, lovey-dovey, let's just call it the butterfly era. Everything was finally soft for me, for a girl with a lot of achievements and pressure in life. And yet, suddenly, that softness disappeared. It didn't come as a huge breakdown that everything was gone. No, it came as small things, such as expectations, pressure, standards that I was trying to meet. And love started to feel something that I had to earn. I remember one moment very, very clearly. I was sitting in class, in the middle of an exam, a paper in front of me. Time was ticking. And it was very, very important. My higher level biology exam. And I've really worked hard for that. But somehow, my phone kept vibrating again and again and again. And I knew it. It was him who called. But it was an exam, so I wasn't allowed to use my phone. But I also knew if I didn't respond to this call, there would be consequences. So before the exam started, I opened my laptop. I rushed. My hands were moving fast, and my heart beating faster because I am trying to not disappoint him. So I sent what he asked me to do. A poster. I closed everything down, sat for the exam. Ironically, my mind was not there. I was still anxious. I was still scared. Still trying to be enough. Still trying to be perfect. Finally, the exam ended. My phone rang again. As I picked up the call, all I heard from him was that I was useless. It wasn't good enough. You're not meeting my expectations. And you are useless. And somehow, I didn't fight back. Because I started to believe it. Maybe I am too much. Maybe I am too dramatic. Maybe I'm not good enough. And maybe I am useless. But today, I stand here not with anger, but with forgiveness. Because I have learned that I am not weak. I was just trying to hold on to something I thought I needed to. When our hearts say, I need rest, we always answer later. And for me, that later became something really dangerous because every signal that I've been ignoring for my whole entire life eventually caught up with me. And I reached the point where I failed. I have completely failed my life. And not just in one thing, but in everything. All the achievements, all the trophies, all the titles I have built, the image I have built since I was young meant nothing. Completely useless. And for the first time in my entire life, I didn't know how to fix it. Because all of that meant nothing. So, I asked for help. I went to psychologists. But that wasn't enough. So I went to psychiatrist. And that wasn't enough. And eventually, I had to take medications prescribed by the psychiatrist. At first, it felt like a relief. Like something was being pulled off my body, and I felt joy. But every action has its consequences. For me, I gained 10 kilograms of weight. I feel numb and I can't feel a single thing in my mind. And eventually, I became dependent on that medication. I remember one moment very, very clearly. I was sitting in class, an exam. Grade 11, my final exam. It was really important. Another paper was in front of me, time was ticking, and I read the questions that I should have known the answers to. But my mind was blank. I sat and I realized I was unable to answer a single thing. And later, I look at my results, as expected. My hands were trembling. And I think, I've lost everything because I have completely failed my exam. I failed. I am done. But something unexpected happened. The same part of me that pushed me to be the perfect kid, the same part of me that forced me to complete all the achievements, that same part of me that told me not to rest, to get back up again and again and again, became something that not destroying me. They came back to save me. Because that same part of me told myself that I don't want to take meds the rest of my life. But I do want the rest of my life. And so that very same moment, I made a decision, a very hard and painful one, that I have to stop taking meds after 4 months of living under the shadow, running away from all of the reality. It was not overnight, but slowly, day by day, I start to face everything that I've been running from. To feel again, to rebuild again, to live again. And finally, I found my way back. Back to achievements, back to growth, back to life. I was no longer the girl who believed that if I win, I'm enough. And if I fail, I'm a disappointment. Now, I believe something different. That if I win, I am enough. And even if I fail, I am more than enough. Because as long as I keep on trying, as long as I keep being myself, I am loved and I am enough. And maybe after everything, all the failure, all the exhaustion, all the pressure, I realized something bigger. That this was never just about signals. This was about identity. Because for so long, I thought I was my achievements. I was my trophies. I was something I could prove, and I was something that I could lose. But no, I was wrong. Because no results can define me. No failure can erase me. And no expectations can decide who I am. I am not what I achieve. I'm not what I failed. And I am not what people expect me to be. And neither are any of you. We are not determined by numbers, outcomes, pressure. No. We are not something that needs to be earned, and we are not something that needs to be proven. We are something we choose. Because for the first time, if you stop proving that you are worth it, it's the time you earn it. Because you never meant to spend your life earning your worth. You were meant to live it. Thank you.